Welcome to the EdTech Throwdown. Join us, Eric Geis and Nick Johnson, as we dive into today's best EdTech tools, tips, and practices. We do the research so you can teach your class. Remember to follow us on social media like Instagram, X, or Facebook by looking for the handle @EdTech Throwdown. Now please enjoy the show.
Welcome to the EdTech Throwdown. This is episode 200 called, Is Google Gemini the Ultimate Educational AI? In this episode, we will discuss the good and the bad of Google Gemini as we try to answer the question, is it the ultimate educational AI tool? This is another episode you don't want to miss. Check it out.
Back with big episode 200.
Big episode 200, but I feel like I should edit in like a wah wah sound effect because we kept trying to make plans to get a guest on and do something special. It's just been so crazy. I feel like we've been presenting back-to-back sessions in all different capacities around school, and it's been nuts. So we failed to do so, but we'll try and pull that together maybe. I don't know, you think like in an upcoming episode? And
yeah, maybe we plan something special, down the line.
Or we'll do that for episode 500 or whatever, and we'll say 200 is not that.
We should just pick a random episode, like 213.
I like that idea better anyway. That's like Katie does.
This is episode 213, everybody.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
My wife doesn't want a 40th birthday party celebration. She wants a 42nd for that same reason, just to be different and change it up. So maybe we'll keep the same theme here, but the point of this is kind of goes along with what I was just saying. We've been super busy. We've had these, as tech coaches at our school, we present lunch and learns as just one way to teach staff about technology, and we had like 2 of 4 of those actually, like back to back. We had a full PD day this week as we record. So there was that. In an hour or so, me and you are going to go present at a college nearby. We're just constantly putting these sessions together. And I started to notice something as I was putting together all these sessions. 1, AI is everywhere. That goes without saying. But 2, there's one particular AI tool that keeps popping up, and more, it seems like this AI tool does what a lot of AI tools do, but it does it all in one, and it's the easiest one for us to find. It's the, air quotes, safest one, depending how you define that word safe. I'm talking, of course, about Google Gemini, and it just got me wondering, is this tool popping up so often because it is the ultimate AI tool? I don't know, but that's what we're going to try to answer in this episode by just kind of analyzing it and going through. Do you have any opinions on that before we start? What do you think?
I don't know. I have this dumbfounded look on my face.
You do.
Like, is he really saying this?
You kind of do.
I have a question, though. Are we talking in general, or are we talking in the scope of education?
Education specifically, I guess. I mean, we could expand it if you want, but
I think we should make that perimeter there, that we're talking about AI in education. We can make the argument for or against that. I don't know, maybe one of us will be on one side of the fence, one of us will be on the other.
Sure.
Or we could be on the same side. I'm not sure. We haven't talked about it. So, let's get into it right after a word from the Teach Better Podcast Network.
This podcast is a proud member of the Teach Better Podcast Network. Better today, better tomorrow, and the podcast to get you there. You can find out more at teachbetter.com/podcasts. Now let's get back to the episode.
Okay, so we're back. We're going to start analyzing Google Gemini in a number of ways, hopefully at the same time teaching you about it. Beginning with just where do you find this tool? It seems like a dumb thing to explain, but I've explained that to a lot of people this week who have asked me where it is. These are obviously like the non-AI users, or those that are just dipping their toes in the water. If you're listening to our show, you probably are not that type of educator, but just in case, When we're talking about Google Gemini, we are talking about an AI chatbot, a large language model that is listed there with that little, I don't know what, I still call it a waffle icon. I don't know.
Tic-tac-toe board?
Yeah, whatever. I mean, you guys, if you're a Google school, you know that little icon with the 9 squares. It's right in there, kind of sandwiched in with all the other stuff we use, like Docs and Slides and Drive and you name it. One of those right now is Google Gemini, which is, I think, why it's, kind of popping up so much, because a lot of schools are turning that on for their staff and their students, and it's just kind of becoming like the go-to tool. So that's where you can find it. As far as why to use it, there's just so many reasons, and I'll take the first one here that we came up with, which is just how easy it is to find, because as I just pointed out, Google Gemini is sitting right there amongst all those other applications, and Google being the tool that so many districts have chosen to kind of build upon. It's right there, man. So that's one of the main reasons to use this tool is simplicity. You don't even have to go anywhere. If the students are on Chromebooks, it's there for them as well. So being easy to find is a huge part of why to use this tool.
It's easy to find, and it also integrates with a lot of stuff. Especially if you're a Google school, it will integrate with a lot of Google products, such as Google Docs, Google Sheets. It will work within those platforms, which is really, really cool. I will mention that let's also talk about the price. If you have a Google for Education package, there are different levels. At most, you can, if you're at the glorified level of Google, where you have Google Classroom and all that, you get more. And if you're just a surface level Google school, then you get less, obviously. But less is enough to do what you need to do and still save time, and you're really not going to miss it unless you're a power user. All right, and some of us like to call ourselves a power user, but I mean, I've used it a lot, but I'm considered a power user by a lot of people, but I just scratched the surface of this tool, and some of the things it's doing is amazing.
It's pretty crazy.
It's awesome.
So yeah, I mean, the ability to incorporate with these tools we're already using is huge. I think the biggest one, I mean, if you're like a ground level educator, you might not be thinking about this because you're just using tools that your IT staff or whoever, your administrators tell you to use, but there's a huge amount of thought that goes into the choosing of those tools after they've been vetted for privacy and security. There's laws that govern what types of information about minors can be shared with these companies. FERPA COPA, is that right?
FERPA COPA, and going along with that, and not to interrupt you.
Yeah, it's cool.
But I think this is the biggest selling point of Google Gemini, is because Google states that Gemini protects the data of your students. And a lot of the other AI tools do not do that. They don't guarantee that. So a lot of the stuff, the data is more controlled. And I think that is a huge factor when considering what AI tool to use in your district.
Yeah, I mean, to put it another way, if you're using ChatGPT and you're typing in information or it's submitting pictures of your face, ChatGPT doesn't really guarantee anything about how that information is used or where that picture of your face goes. You may not care about that, but it would be illegal for a school to allow that for students, for children, for minors. And Google guarantees all that stuff. So that is mega huge. We're talking about you could be, I'm pretty sure, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say something that I'm not positive about. Tell me if I'm wrong. I think you could be like 5 or 6 years old in kindergarten or first grade, and if you've got your Chromebook out, you could pull up Google Gemini and use it. I just read that on somebody's blog as I was preparing for this. So I think that's the deal, at least as we're recording this today.
I think there has to be some type of parental consent that is sent home with the, I don't know, usually there's like a photo release package and stuff like that. I think that it still needs to be signed off on, but it's much more easily manageable than having to be just like over 13.
Right.
Anyone under 13 cannot use it. And to be honest with you, I'm not sure if the 6 and the 7-year-old should be able to use it at this point, but I mean, down the line maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'll back up. I'm not advocating for that. I hope our 5 and 6-year-olds are not using AI in school. There's a ton of reasons that's not probably appropriate, but just like as an extreme example of the safety, and then the exporting thing, the integration with tools that are already there. We're going to talk more towards the end of this about something you found. I think it's called Canvas, where you can export your products from a Gemini chat directly into other things. All huge, all reasons to use it. To me, that the list we just went through all puts us in the camp of maybe it is the ultimate educational AI tool. I don't know if there's anything in there that suggests that it shouldn't be yet. Just like a ton of really great reasons to use this thing.
Yeah, I mean, over the last couple of weeks, I've not even couple of weeks, couple of days since we sat down to do one of our PDs, I keep finding little nuances about Google Gemini that I really, really enjoy.
Right.
And you just talked about Canvas mode. I mean, for the longest time when I typed in prompts and everything, it spit things out and it always wanted to export it to a Google Sheet. And I found that extremely annoying because, yeah, it was a table, but I don't want it in a Google Sheet. I wanted it in a Google Doc, a table within a Google Doc. So if you go into that Canvas mode, you can export as a Google Doc, or you could export it as an email too, and it will work within that Google platform, which is absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, it's very cool. Maybe that's a good segue to start getting into some of the other reasons this might be the ultimate educational AI, and that is just all the different features that it now has. Now, we got to say at the top of this, we are recording this as of October 2025, and this particular segment, I would guess, would fall out of date pretty quickly, just knowing the speed at which these things are progressing today. So we're going to talk about a lot of stuff here as it looks now in 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, depending when you're listening to this. Obviously, that could be super different. But some of these are likely to remain. And I'll start off with when you click on that app, your Gemini app, you're going to see in the top left-hand corner 2 different options. One is called Flash, and the other is called Pro. I hope I've got those terms correct. And I need your help a little bit with this, but my understanding now is Flash is like the quick and dirty response that doesn't use a lot of the juice on the back end. Pro is going to go a whole lot deeper into coding, math, more complex critical thinking type stuff.
Yeah, and there's also like another level if you go premium, I believe is what it's called, or professional, I'm not sure. But the Flash is like if you just need surface level stuff. For example, what's the difference between pre-zygotic barriers and post-zygotic barriers? You would use Flash, and it would give you that surface level definition of both and examples of both. However, if you're doing something a little bit more intuitive, such as like math equations and formulas and things like that, the Flash model does not work as well on those equations and explaining data in math and formulas and stuff like that. So you would want to use the Pro there, and the response is pretty awesome. I'm not going to lie, I was working in AP Bio on chi-squared problems, and I tried it on Flash, and it was just like, it looked like wingdings when I was asking it to explain the equation and stuff like that, but when I put it on Pro, it did a really nice job.
Yeah, I just leave mine set to Pro permanently because, science, we're doing a lot of math stuff, and it's just startlingly good at explaining math and equations and displaying them in an equation-y format and text. So that's one thing to point out as far as features go. I'll say, too, you reminded me of this. We're speaking as a school district that uses the free version of all this, right? So we do not pay for Google. A lot of schools do pay because you might use Google Classroom as your LMS. So you could have even more stuff than we're sharing now. But I think it's cool to know that all of everything we're saying is the free version of Google Workplace for Education. Okay, so that's the first thing. Second thing is there's lots of different modes that you can choose to chat within, let's just say. And as far as education goes, this is huge. ChatGPT has a similar thing, but Gemini obviously is the focus here. And it's called guided learning mode, which means exactly like it sounds when you click it. So hopefully this is something you would want your students to do. When you click that, it does not give you answers. It walks you through answers. It explains how to answer the question. It doesn't just spit out a perfectly crafted response to the question. One of the ways that we can combat AI misuse and cheating as teachers is to simply point that out to students, to kind of let them know that that's the appropriate way to use it. Keep in mind, guys, you're going to have to take a test on this in a week. You don't need answers. You need to know how to get answers, and guided learning mode is an option. That's obviously not going to solve all your problems, but it will appeal to a lot of students in their better nature of just human beings that want to do the right thing and learn and perform well, whatever their motivation is. So I think that is huge. The fact that they have a little guided learning mode button right there beneath the Gemini chat.
Yeah, I think that's a solid point to make. And I'm going to talk just one hair more on Canvas mode, and we'll leave it alone, because I said it will export it to a Google Doc or an email. I will tell you this as well. If you want anything to be formatted and you plan on printing it, work in Canvas mode. If you just work on the regular spot, I feel like the formatting when you copy and paste it into a Google Doc or wherever you want to take it, it's just a nightmare. So I'm hoping that that becomes a little bit more seamless in the future. The next one's image generation, and really it does a nice job. My three sons are into sports cards and Pokemon cards and stuff like that, and what they're doing now is their friends, they all just watch people open packs of these cards all the time. I don't get it, but I kind of get it. They're learning a lot about a hobby that they really enjoy right now, and I want to embrace this with them. And they're like, Dad, can we do one of these channels? So, I'm thinking maybe this is a good opportunity to teach them a little bit about business and how to run a store and stuff like that. I remember as a kid, I used to do like pop-up yard sales in my yard, or Alex Lemonade Stand, or something along those lines, to try to learn about how to make money and things like that. So I'm thinking if we could, come up with a clever way of doing some stuff, I think that would be, pretty cool.
Yeah, the image generation is cool. I gave the example, at least like from the teacher side, of like if you can't find something on what now feels like an old school Google image search where you're just searching the web and hoping for the best, obviously you can have your Gemini create exactly what you want and tailor it to meet whatever needs you have, including style, colors, school gear, whatever you want.
Yeah, like in my story that I kind of didn't finish, so I'm going to finish it real quick. Just remember.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So I told them about coming up with some type of graphic that represents their brand. And I explained what a brand was. And I used like Lucky Charms. You would know that it's Lucky Charms because of the little leprechaun or because of the marshmallows. So what they wanted to do is let's make a cartoon of ourselves. So we started to make a cartoon, and then they were like, we don't want it to be us. And I was like, well, what do you want it to be? And my one son goes, let's be sloths. And then we tried to make sloths on there, and we couldn't get it to quite look right. And my other one was like, let's do gorillas. So we did gorillas, and it looks kind of cool. And it's like a big gorilla with three little gorillas in front wearing baseball caps, and it says like the name that they chose, which I can't remember.
Sure.
But it's still cool, and that's using the image generation tool. Another thing that I like about Gemini is if you want to work within a specific document, say that you have a unit that you're working on, and this book is PDF friendly. They give you PDFs of the chapters or whatever, and you want to upload the PDF into Gemini, you can add that file up there, and you could say, hey, work within this file to make a 20-question formative assessment that has this type of multiple choice questions and this type of short answer and this type of data analysis or whatever. And you could get specific there. You could add documents, you could add pictures, graphs, tables, all that stuff. Ask it to make a formative assessment, and it will do that, and that's pretty awesome as well.
Yeah, really amazing. And, that ability to bring in those files or documents or pictures, we'll get more into this later, but that is, one of the reasons we're doing this episode is because that allows you to eliminate other AI tools that used to do that thing. Do you remember, I think it was Chat PDF or something, where its whole job was like import a PDF and chat with that document, right? Ask questions about the document. I don't know how that keeps existing anymore now that you can do this in Gemini, because that's really what it's allowing you to do. And another huge one, possibly the game changer of all game changers that I have come to understand in the past few days, honestly, is gems. Gems within Gemini are like these little customized chats, let's just call them. I mean, gems is what they are, but it's like you get to build a chatbot with parameters that you set that are then shareable with your students. So like a little personalized tutor that does only what you tell it to do, or like you name the trivial task, you can build a gem to do that thing. I think this is the game changer of the episode.
Yeah, I would agree, and I would, not that I don't like the way that you explained it, but I think the best way of looking at it is if you use Magic AI or Magic School or Conmigo or Teacher Server or any of those that have those prompts already written for you, these gems are the same thing. That's what they are. So I have a lesson planner gem, and what I did is I put in you are an AP biology teacher using the AP College Board curriculum for AP Bio. In my lesson plan, I need these 7 sections, and I listed them out. I will put in what the daily unit and topic is going to be. I need you to provide me with a lesson plan for that day. And I hit enter, it kicks out the lesson plan, and I go in, I change the activity, I hyperlink my presentations in there. Instead of taking 25 minutes to write a lesson plan, it takes me about 1 minute.
Right.
And it looks really well done. And then I'm done with my lesson plan. And I think it's, for me, that saves me so much time every week. But I also do this with, hey, you're a teacher responding to parent communication. You need this to be a professional tone. Please take a look at my response and give me suggestions on where I can make it more professional or whatever tone I'm shooting for. And that saves you a little bit of time. You could also write a gem for an activity, right? And it could be based on the unit that you're teaching. I'm teaching 8.1, which is ecology, organism interactions. Please come up with a quick worksheet that introduces this topic. Have it be 3 paragraphs and 2 discussion questions. Go. And it will kick out something nice. Then I throw that in Canva, I doctor it up a little bit, I make it ecology looking, add a couple pictures, and you're off to the races. Once again, something that would take me 20 minutes to do now, that's what I call it, is now taking me 3 minutes. So that gives me 17 minutes to go in and make a cookie cutter lab, not cookie cutter. It allows me to be creative in certain places that I didn't have the time to be creative in before.
Yeah, and you just you do all that, you set it up one time, right? That's kind of the difference between I like your comparison. It's like those magic school kind of pre-set up uses for AI. You can do that, but you can make it your own, right? So for our school, we need certain components in a lesson plan. You don't have to rely on whatever Magic School has, and I know theirs is probably customizable, but like you set all that up once, and then all you do is go into your gem and give it the topic, and it spits out the whole lesson plan with your information. And as far as like a personalized tutor, you make a gem. You can also, by the way, upload documents. So like I upload my study guide or the AP Chem curriculum for Unit 1, and you tell it that as the student is interacting, with you, you should be accessing this sort of information from this document. So it's just so cool, the fact that GEMS exists. And then the last one here, there's more we could do, but like the last, I think, major feature is that Google is trying to combat some of the issues, at least, that people have with AI, with this built-in aspect of it called Learn LM. This is not like a separate platform. You're not going to see this anywhere else. But Learn LM is their way to try to build in things that education is losing now that AI is here. Things like struggle, being uncomfortable. We've talked a lot on this show about how the deepest learning happens when you push kids out of their comfort zone. And most of what they will be using AI for is to stay within their comfort zone, to just be getting answers, to have somebody do the writing for them. Obviously, that loses a lot of the learning. But at least if you have a way to force the kids into using Gemini, Learn LM is there to build in some struggle on purpose, to build curiosity on purpose. So this is going to be incorporated in the way Gemini interacts with students. It'll be trying to do some of those things. Now, I know this is not going to be perfect and will not solve the problems, but it's at least like an acknowledgement of those issues and a sign that maybe there will be some way to, like, I guess, deal with them in the long term. So not a perfect solution, but it's something. We wanted to close it out here with just two other aspects, and I'll take care of this, one of those two, kind of all in one shot, because I don't want to dwell on it. I just feel like anytime you're talking about AI, you have to acknowledge some of the downsides, which I just started to do. Of course, you've got brain health, environmental issues, cheating, the loss of struggle, a bunch of different things that are going to go along with this. As educators, you got to be aware of that. Yes, Gemini is really great, but it is going to bring all of those things to you. Not all students are going to be ready for this tool, especially maybe at the younger grades. Does your school have a built-in AI literacy program that the English teachers do, or that elementary teachers have to do, or whatever? Probably not. At least in 2025, these things are so new. That stuff doesn't always exist yet. So that's, you just got to be aware. And then the last one is, and I got to thank a blog from Matt Miller for this particular comment, but Matt reminded me, and I'm reminding you all, that Google is a massive, massive, massive company. And they're not giving us all these things for free out of the goodness of their hearts. It's kind of like Canva. We talk a lot about why does Canva offer basically their pro package to education for free. It's because they want to hook people on using Canva, and Google's no different. That's why they are allowing schools to use this free tier that has all of these features without paying them anything. It's because they want everyone to be going on to their jobs where they need Google Docs or whatever it's going to be. So I don't even know if that's a downside, but it's like something to be aware of, I guess, as you're using this tool. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? Google
is a behemoth of a company.
And we're feeding it.
We should have named that our episode.
Yeah, that would have been a good idea.
I'm going to also kind of, name drop here too. I was listening to an episode of John Sowash's Chromebook Classroom, and he mentioned that they have a new Google Cert now. So it's not just level 1, level 2, Google Educator, Google Trainer, but they also have a Google Gemini certification. So it might be worth going after. Yep. I mean, I like the AI world and living in there and seeing what I can learn. But to wrap this one up, we're going to talk about some of our favorite use cases for using Google Gemini. And I'm going to bring one that wasn't originally listed on the show notes, but using Google Gemini on your phone is awesome.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff there.
So Nick has a shirt on. It's a button-down shirt, and it has this like logo on it that I've never seen before. He's looking down to see what the logo is. There's no logo. I'm just using this as an example. But I can hold up my Google Gemini and focus in on that emblem on his shirt, and it will tell me about the company and about the shirt, and I could have a conversation with it. Well, when was this company founded? And it will say, this company was founded in 1964 by Grandma Etna Johnson, whatever it may be. But you could have a conversation. I think it's really, really cool because I used to use Google Lens for stuff. Like, I used to walk flea markets, not because I wanted to buy stuff. Oftentimes I never bought anything. But I like to try to find stuff that I know nothing about and learn about it. And I feel like I would always ask the vendors the questions, and a lot of them knew what it was that I was asking them. But some of them just, I feel like, bought stuff from somewhere else and then just brought it there, selling it, hoping that someone thought it was worth something. But now I could just use Google Lens or now Google Gemini and hold up the video camera to it and have a conversation and learn about different items. And that type of stuff just interests me a lot. I don't bring hardly anything home. However, the history behind stuff and why it's made and what it is, I just think it's fascinating.
Yeah, it's cool. And the live chat over that video interface is pretty crazy. You guys should all give that a try. I don't think a lot of people know about that yet, and it's wild. Maybe I'll take two at once here because they're both kind of similar, and that is the image generation or image alteration aspects of this. We've talked a little bit about it already. This can include things just to straight up make your class more fun and engaging. I put a picture of my face in there just with my webcam, and I asked it to turn me into a chemistry-themed superhero, and it did. It was super cool. It looked like a cartoon version of me, and there's really no great purpose to that other than if I were to bust it out in class for some reason or put it in a presentation or on a test or something silly, it would be enjoyable, and everybody likes that kind of thing, including a separate website. I guess I don't really know how this works, but it's called Gem Stickers. To use it, you need the link to get to Gem Stickers, although it just uses Gemini. It is like a Google tool. You can Google that. If you just search for Gem Stickers, you'll find it. It's also in our show notes. But when you go to Gem Stickers, it's this like little platform where you upload a picture of yourself or use your webcam to take a picture of yourself, and it turns that selfie into a custom sticker set in a bunch of styles. They've got like pop art stickers and little dinosaur stickers, so it's your face as a dinosaur. You can pixelize it. I made a bunch where I'm a football star of different types on like cards, like sports cards, claymation stickers, just all different things, and you can download them as a set. And if you just kind of save these somewhere, so you can use your funny custom-made digital stickers of your face to give feedback to kids. It's just like a fun little addition to the classroom. So the image generation stuff, I think, is like the most fun and one of my favorite use cases here.
All right, so 2 of the remaining 3 we kind of brushed up on a little bit. The first one is Google Classroom tools. Even if you're not a Google Classroom user, Google Classroom in its free form is available to you. If you go to the waffle, click on Google Classroom. In there is embedded these Google tools that run through Gemini, if I have that correct.
Correct, yep.
Yeah, that's what I thought. All right, and we talked about Gems making personalized AI Toodle. Come on now.
AI Toodles, it'll do that too.
Hey Toodles, that's like a Mickey Mouse Clubhouse.
Yep.
Thing. All right, but it can make personalized AI tutors just like School AI and Magic School. So those gems use the same way. Love that. It saves so much time. I'm not really sure what the Canvas is, so I'm going to kick that over to you.
I can't wait. I was this whole time I was waiting for this one moment because I was pretty sure you don't even know this. And I rarely get to teach Geist about something, so this is cool. Just saw it myself 2 days ago. We mentioned Canvas earlier. So when you're in Gemini, if you click on Canvas, one of the things that Canvas, this mode in Gemini, can do is code things, much like if you've ever tried Canva Code. We got a whole episode on it. It can build websites and apps and simulations for you. And the benefit of this Canvas mode is that it codes it out. You can preview what that code produces, so you can see the website, you can see the simulation, you can see the interactive timeline, whatever it is that you create, and then adjust it. Say, can you make the colors blue, or can you add images, or like whatever it is. And that is part of that Canvas mode, is you're supposed to be able to preview the thing you are creating. In a session we did Monday, there was a teacher who tried this with a historical interactive timeline. She had clicked on Canvas and it started building all this HTML code. She didn't even know what it was. She called me over and was like, "What is happening right now? Is it broken?" And I just kind of said no, it's not broken. That's coding the timeline for you, and then you can export that code directly from there. So you don't have to understand code. You don't have to know where to put that code unless you want to. You can share it as an app or a simulation straight from Google Gemini, which is what pulled me to today's episode in general. Is okay, so maybe that makes Canva code, we don't need that anymore. The fact that you can use these Google Classroom tools, we don't need Magic School anymore. The fact that I can make a gem personalized tutor, I don't need School AI anymore. The fact that I can pull in a PDF and interact only with that, I don't need Chat PDF anymore. The list goes on. It's just tough to argue against using Google Gemini for everything. You know what I'm saying?
It's a Swiss Army knife of an EdTech tool.
It certainly is.
And that's a good spot for us to end it today. Thanks for listening again. Make sure that you go check us out wherever you consume YouTube videos, podcasts, and anywhere else that we may be at this time. Happy 200th episode to Nick. It means very little until episode 227.
227 it is.
All right. Thanks for listening to the EdTech Throwdown. Do us a couple of favors. Subscribe to our podcast on any major podcast catcher such as Apple, Spotify, Amazon Podcasts, and Stitcher. Go over to YouTube, search the EdTech Throwdown, subscribe to the channel. You can connect with us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. The show's handle is EdTech Throwdown. You can connect with Geist at GeistGotTech, Nick at NickGotTech. You can write us an Apple Podcast review. You can tell your friends about www.edtechthrowdown.com. And lastly, go over and check out our friends over at the Teach Better Podcast Network, a network that we are so proudly involved with. Until next time, remember, go try some EdTech because we will do the research so you can teach your class.